Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. 865 Live. Every year, Memorial Day weekend, a huge recruiting event for Tennessee. Had a lot of guys on campus, and we're going to talk about those guys over the coming days, kind of break it down step by step. Tennessee really created some momentum over the weekend, and that's the idea, right? It's the last big unofficial recruiting weekend. We go into summer visits, official visits, and Tennessee hoped to create some momentum there at 865 Live, and I think that they did that. If you go look at the On3 industry rankings right now, Tennessee currently sitting at 12th. Is that good enough? No, but I like the way this class is starting to take shape. You've got five-star quarterback Faison Brandon, the number one ranked quarterback in the country, according to 247 Sports. Again, we've talked about 865 Live and how Savion Hyder showed up surprisingly for an unofficial visit over the course of Memorial Day weekend. That was big, the number one ranked running back in the country. But you've also got four-star Tyreek King, a wide receiver out of Knoxville, Tennessee, committed. Big Gabriel Ascenda, 6'7", 305-pound, four-star offensive tackle. Zach Groves committed just prior to 865 Live. Carson Sneed, a guy that committed, but he's testing the waters. He's looking around, but coming out of 865 Live, Carson Sneed said, hey, the way things are trending right now, my commitment to Tennessee is likely going to stick. As of now, this class of 2026, Tennessee is at 63% when it comes to the blue chip ratio. And again, when I talk about Josh Heupel, that continues to trend up. That continues to trend in the right direction. But I want to talk about a couple of guys that were here on the weekend that Tennessee definitely gained some momentum with. And one of those is four-star offensive tackle Kamari Blair. He set up his official visits there. You can see that on the screen. But again, On3 industry rankings have him as a four-star offensive tackle. In-state kid, 6'6", 280 pounds, one of the top 10 players in the state of Tennessee, according to the On3 industry rankings. He also comes in at 225th nationally. Now, On3, 247 Sports, no scouting report, but I did find this from SI.com. It says Blair is shown as a long-levered, powerfully built left tackle who excels at run blocker every bit as much as he can get relied upon to protect his quarterback's blind side. Goes on to say that he is a body mover. Blair has ideal height and length for the tackle position, but more excellent pulling skills and his fierce ability in the running game. This Tennessee product could be every bit as capable inside at guard as he is on the edge. And there, again, SI.com, they mention his pulling skills, and that's something he talked about in his interview with VolQuest coming off of the visit. He talked about spending time with Coach Ellerby, and this is what he had to say. Said he was just coaching me up a little bit, telling me things that he liked about my skill set and things that he thinks I could work on. He said they pull a lot of tackles. They do a lot of tackle movement, tackle pulls. And when Ellerby chopped up my film, he saw a lot of that, and he said I would fit right in here at the University of Tennessee. Now, he dropped his top six the week prior to this visit to Knoxville on 865 Live. The top six consisted of South Carolina, Florida State, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Kentucky, and Wisconsin. Steve Wilfong heading into this visit, heading into 865 Live, he said Ole Miss got in early with the Clarksville, Tennessee, Kirkwood on 300 offensive tackle, Kamari Blair. He goes on to say Tennessee recently offered. He's excited about Glenn Ellerby, and the Vols are looking to make a move. So did Tennessee make that move? After the trip, this is what Blair had to say. He said they did have a lot of ground to make up. They were pretty far behind when they first offered, but the relationship with Coach Ellerby, Coach DC, Coach KP, they all hit me up pretty frequently trying to gain that ground back. He goes on to say, I wouldn't have set up an official visit to a school that isn't a realistic contender, especially when I have midweek visits. Instead of just moving that one to a weekend spot, they are a contender right now. Now, what he's talking about is the trip to Kentucky. He was scheduled for an official visit to Kentucky on June the 20th. That is the last visit. That is the final visit, kind of going into that decision-making mode. He canceled that Kentucky visit, and I think that is huge because, again, like he mentioned, he's taking some midweek visits. A lot of these kids can only visit on the weekend. Kamari Blair has some midweek visits available, and he said, no, I don't want to move it. I'm going to cancel it. That Kentucky visit is canceled, and Tennessee slides into that last spot. And, again, I think that's big. I think it's huge. When you look at his official visit schedule now, he's got Wisconsin on May the 30th. That's coming up this weekend. South Carolina on June the 6th. Florida State on June the 9th. Ole Miss on June the 13th. And then Tennessee will get that final visit on June the 20th. Now, coming off of the visit, Steve Wilfong again said Tennessee had some ground to make up. They needed to gain some momentum at 865 Live. And this is what Steve Wilfong said after the visit. He said things are picking up fast between the Vols and on 300 offensive lineman Kamari Blair. Heupel, Glenn Ellerby, and the staff recently offered. They made the top 6 named less than a week ago and now got Blair on campus. Excuse me. He says Tennessee is battling the likes of Ole Miss, South Carolina, Florida State, Wisconsin, and Kentucky. The Wildcats are slated to get a June 20th official, but that will now go to the Vols. The 865 Live event helped make that happen. So that's the update on Kamari Blair, a guy that really I haven't talked a whole lot about on this channel, but coming out of 865 Live, there definitely seems to be some momentum there. Now, there was another guy on campus at 865 Live, and then this popped up on Twitter, and that guy has now been predicted to Tennessee. On 3 Recruits puts it out. On 3, Steve Wilfong has logged an expert prediction to Tennessee to land a top offensive target. Now, I saw this on Twitter, and I saw a lot of buzz, a lot of talk, but when you click on the link, all it does is take you to the On 3 RPM. It doesn't show you where that prediction is made. So who was it? I saw a lot of speculation. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it, but I need you guys to do some YouTube stuff for me. We're 6.5 minutes into this thing. If you're still liking, you like the content around here, you like what we do, smash the thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. And if you really like it, hit that thanks button down below. There's a thanks button. It's like a super chat on a video. That support means a lot. Or you can hit the join button, and that's like a super chat every month. It's like saying, Boogie, I want to commit $1 to the channel because I like what you guys do. You can hit that join button, become a member for just $1 a month. You get access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun support. You get a power T beside your name in the chat and in the comment section. But again, you are just keeping the lights on here for a channel that is for the fans, by the fans. We don't pretend to sell you on something we're not. We don't claim to be experts. We don't claim to be insiders. All we claim to be is exactly what you guys are watching this channel. We are fans, for the fans, by the fans, diehard, psychotic, passionate Tennessee fans. We talk Tennessee football all day, every day, right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. So we appreciate your support. So who is that prediction for? Well, Steve Wilfong put in the prediction, so you can go over to On 3. You can click on Steve Wilfong's profile, and you can see the name at the top of the list right there, Brandon Anderson, 3-star interior offensive lineman. He is a guy that we have talked a lot about, but you can see it right here. Again, Steve Wilfong, expert prediction with 60% confidence. We can click on Brandon Anderson's profile here and take a look at it. Again, a guy that committed to Tennessee back on October the 20th over Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, and several other teams. And Brandon Anderson's a guy that we've talked a lot about on this channel, right? He commits, he pulls the trigger. He sees his stock kind of start to rise. He was a 4-star interior offensive lineman, and his value was going up, and he started to get a lot of talk, a lot of buzz, a lot of interest. He decommitted. He kind of said, hey, I want to go through the process. I think I pulled the trigger a little bit too early. But then after that, and it's almost comical to me. It's like George last year. George, his stock went down when he wasn't even playing football. It's because he wasn't participating in summer camp. So what is going on with Brandon Anderson, a 4-star interior offensive lineman, stock up, commits to Tennessee, stock down. Now he is listed as a 3-star. ESPN and Rivals have him as a 4-star. On 3 industry rankings have him as a 3-star, and you can see there on the screen, 441st nationally. So we'll see what happens with his rankings. Well, you got to nail your evaluations. It doesn't matter what On 3 thinks, what 247 thinks. It doesn't really matter. But he talked about his decommitment coming off of this visit to 865 Live. He says Tennessee is still in play because they continued to show me love after I decommitted. He said they didn't quit. He goes on to say they didn't give up after that. They could still could see something in me that I really see myself still, so that's why I really like this school. He dropped a new top 5 back in the spring: Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, Missouri, and Tennessee. We've talked about Matt Ray giving the update after the visit. He said Brandon Anderson back on campus. Tennessee's consistency is paying off. He said Missouri, UNC, and Maryland will get official visits in June, and you can never say never in today's world of recruiting, but Tennessee has clearly made a strong impression since he decommitted in February. It would not stun me in any way to see him back in the class at this point. Now, again, you never say never, but he chose Tennessee for a reason early on, and the Vols are doing a nice job reminding him of why. Now, Steve Wilfong put in the expert prediction. This is what he said when he put in that prediction. He said Brandon Anderson was back on campus, a former Tennessee commit. The Vols remain the one to beat. I added an On 3 RPM to reflect that. Now, I did iron down the schedule again. Told you guys previously when I talked about Anderson, trust Matt Ray when he's talking about Missouri, UNC and Maryland, but that schedule has finally been updated. He'll see Maryland this weekend officially, Missouri on June the 6th, UNC on June the 13th, and then once again, Tennessee gets that last official visit on June the 20th. He is set to commit September the 14th. We'll stay tuned in, dialed in, continue to keep you guys updated, continue to talk about the big success coming off of 865 Live as we head into official visit season. As always, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. You can go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link is in the description below. There's also a link in the description to show your support by joining the channel. But jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. If you don't have a comment or a question, just attack that comment section with a GBO. It would be appreciated. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.